There's an increasing number of COVID-19 cases across Ontario, and he wants to see things like more mask wearing come back to help curb the spread.
The Health Protection and Promotion Act does give local medical officers of health a framework of the authority to institute orders at a local level. But my preference at this point in time in the pandemic, given the information that we have, is that the province effectuate a broader suite of public health measures.
Ontario's Science Advisory Table estimates about 100,000 to 120,000 people are getting infected daily across the province. That's based on wastewater data. Locally, data suggests viral activity is now similar to the initial Omicron wave seen in Windsor, Essex months ago. Right now, there are 26 patients at Windsor Regional Hospital, primarily being treated due to COVID-19. And one person is in the ICU with the virus. Hospital officials tell CBC they are operating at more than 100% capacity, but still have some capacity in critical care units. Naisaturi says any measures would be for provincial policymakers to decide, but that bringing back indoor masking where social distancing isn't possible would be an incremental step. So with so many new infections happening daily in this province, where is this latest wave headed? Queen's Park reporter Mike Crawley looks into that part of the story.
Minister Champagne.
If you ask the Premier these days about Ontario's sixth wave of COVID-19, or the Health Minister, the responses could be summed up as, it's nothing to worry about. They don't even use the word wave.
Now, little spike, we're being able to manage it.
I think that we all need to stay calm.
And I am very, very confident as we see the uptick a little bit.
This is something that we are sure that we're going to be able to get through. There's no cause for panic.
Panic doesn't solve anything, but in saying don't panic, that also doesn't mean look away, there's absolutely nothing to see here, everything's fine either.
Predicting how this sixth wave will play out in Ontario's hospitals is no simple task. While the bulk of the population has some protection against severe illness thanks to vaccines, that was the case in January too. And that wave saw a record number of patients with COVID-19 in hospitals and scheduled surgeries put on hold for weeks.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that necessarily this wave is going to be less bad than the previous wave. I'm hopeful of that. It may still be the more likely outcome, but it's not a guaranteed outcome, and I don't think we should be banking on that.
Even if the hospitals have enough beds to handle another influx of patients, will there be adequate staff to care for them? Hospitals are already feeling the effects of this spike in infections.
They're experiencing, like many other workplaces, a high degree of healthcare workers with illnesses having to stay home, or workers being in close proximity to people who have COVID having to self-isolate.
I can speak for myself, and I can speak for many of my colleagues who work across the healthcare system, whether it's long-term care, home care, or hospitals. I think we're feeling very demoralized at this time. People are working short-staffed yet again.
The number of patients with COVID-19 in Ontario hospitals right now is far outstripping the projections made by the Science Advisory Table just last month. The virus is spreading far more quickly than they expected. And that's because the latest variant is so much more contagious, and because so many people have gone back to living their lives like the way they did before the pandemic. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Toronto.
The U.S. Senate has confirmed the history-making nomination of the first Black woman to the country's highest court. 51-year-old Katerina Brown Jackson will be the newest member of the United States Supreme Court.
On this vote, the yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
As expected, the vote fell mainly along party lines, with just 3 Republicans voting in support of Jackson. Still, it is seen as a significant bipartisan accomplishment for U.S. President Joe Biden in the narrow 50-50 Senate. Several Republican senators aggressively worked to paint Jackson as too liberal. She is expected to take her seat on the U.S. Supreme Court in June. A Windsor man is ready to throw himself at a dream come true. He's a St. Clair College professor selected to manage a national team for Canada, our country's dodgeball squads. The CBC's Chris Ensing dives into the story.
Dodgeball at this level is a little faster than gym class. It's not an Olympic event, but countries have national teams, and Canada's squads will be managed by a man from Windsor.
I think for any Canadian, any guy that I know, just to represent Canada and to manage the national team is a dream come true.
As general manager, Jeremy Renault will oversee 6 teams this summer at Edmonton at the national and world tournament. Men's, women's, and mixed teams competing in 2 styles of play, foam and cloth. Renault is a professor of sports management at St. Clair College, excited to lead a team at this level.
And I'm grateful to Dodgeball Canada that they've, looked out of the major areas and they're confident in bringing on board, some homegrown Windsor boys.
2 students are going with him, ready to help make a fringe sport legitimate.
It's funny that when people say, when I mention it to my parents, yeah, I'm going to intern for Dodgeball Canada, they're like, that's a thing? Yeah, I guess so. It is now.
I envision it as an opportunity for growth of the national sport and even internationally. The general public will think dodgeball is just a game. It's the game you play back in high school or back in grade school, right? But really, it's changing from a game to a sport.
The tournaments start in June. Still time to try out. Team Canada takes video submissions until April 22nd. Just remember the 5 Ds of dodgeball.
Then you've got to learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. If you master the 5 Ds, no amount of balls on earth can hit you.
Chris Ensing, CBC News, Windsor.
Let's take a live look outside. They're not sure if we'll be able to dodge the showers that might be on the way tonight and tomorrow, but Colette will be here after the break and she'll let us know. Stay with us. Colette Kennedy joins us now for a look at our weather. Colette, before we get into the local forecast, I hear you have some information for us about the upcoming hurricane season.
Yeah, we know we had such an active one last year. We also know that sometimes these can come and end up having an impact on us here in Ontario. And the predictions have come out. These are the ones from Colorado State University, which are really the kind of experts or the leaders in the field. There will be another one from NOAA as well. And so looking at named storms, 19 on average, and this is taking a 30-year average, we'd have 14 hurricanes, 9, and major hurricanes, 4. All of these numbers you see above average. And of course, last year we had more than 20 named storms. So looking like another active season is certainly going to be expected. All right, let's bring it back closer to home here and look at what our current temperatures are. Still holding on to those double digits in Kitchener and seeing those in London as well. And the 8s have it. Sarnia, Windsor, Chatham, Kent, some spotty showers, a few lightning strikes off to the north and east with this system. Such a broad system. Here, it's back here in Minnesota and stretches all the way towards Maine and hitting all the Great Lakes in between with all this instability. So the heavy rains and rainfall warnings, hey, that's carrying on still in eastern Ontario and into southern Quebec. So we're really getting off a little bit easier with just some of the lighter stuff that's been happening. Those winds today, so gusty from the southwest, those will be easing as we head towards midnight. They're already beginning to. We've been seeing that. We do get into some cloud cover, though, for tomorrow, and then not super heavy in nature at all, but some spotty showers come back in, not just tomorrow afternoon, a risk into the evening, and even into Saturday. We could see a little bit of a mix at times. You might see the odd flurry, but as I say, not much to it. Talking about just going through Friday, that we might add a 2 to 5 millimeters in terms of the rainfall amounts. A look tonight where we may again have some reduced visibility. Really been seeing that fog kind of morning after morning, but tomorrow, yeah, cool again. We'll just be seeing a single digit for tomorrow of 9, and Saturday 6. That's why we could get into a little bit of flurry activity. Sunday 10. Our high today was actually 10. So you get a feeling as we get towards Sunday, finally drier air will move in, and that big broad system will be kicked out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Colette.
You're welcome.
When we come back, we've got a story about a man coming face to face with a muskox. Stay with us. Welcome back. A local mushroom forager says he's noticed an uptick in people hunting for wild fungi, but with that comes risk.
Our planet is the first supermarket. You know, the forests were the first supermarket of our time, and we've disconnected from that. Foraging is that it allows you to really work for your food. The trouble with that comes, however, is that there's a lot of people that go into it for the wrong reasons. You know, during COVID, the poison control in Ontario received triple the amount of phone calls because people are going out there and finding mushrooms and eating them and becoming sick.
He says luckily those people were able to get proper medical attention, but he does caution there are deadly mushrooms in Windsor, Essex. Vidmar says there are 144,000 different mushroom species, with new ones being discovered all the time. He's made mistakes in identifying some before, as many are similar. And if you want to forage for your own mushrooms, he recommends going out with someone who has done it before. And when you find some, he says verify it and then verify it again to be safe. Vidmar says he's found edible mushrooms all over the region, including downtown Windsor, in Amherstburg, and in the Malden Park area. Now, imagine traveling along a snow-covered road and the traffic coming the other way includes a muskox. That's what happened to a man in the Northwest Territories this week. Wing Sham saw the animal approaching his stopped truck near Fort Good Hope. He took out his camera to take a video, and then it got serious.
It was just coming full bore straight towards the middle of the truck, and I didn't want him to take out the radiator, so I just cranked the wheel hard left and gave her gas.
Sham says he was a little shaken, but the muskox also seemed okay after the collision. He suspects it was on the road because the high snowbanks were acting as barriers. That is it for CBC Windsor News. For news anytime, go to our website at cbc.ca/Windsor, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.